Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. And man, I forget how loud that is in my ear when I start trying to talk. I can control the volume for myself here. Presumably, it's not too loud on your guys' end. Should be fine, I think. I didn't really change the levels of this stuff that much at all. Should all be about the same. This is about where game volume should be on my mixer. I got it set where, about where it should be. Following good old guides for that stuff, which, that makes that part easier. Immensely. But enough about stuff you probably really don't give too much of a crap about. We've got some little Fruit of Grisaia to do. More of Makina's route, which we had to unfortunately cut short last time, just because things were just kind of acting up. But I mean, we still did get pretty far, and we had no problems with the stream afterward when we did that. So yeah, I'm just gonna take that as a one-time fluke. And I'm okay with that. I will at least, be trying to pay attention to see if there'll be any spikes. And in fact, I use Twitch Inspector a lot just to see how much the bitrate does fluctuate. Which, honestly, if you do stream, make sure you check out Twitch Inspector. It actually helps immensely. Even on just to check to see how stable your stream can be if you're doing stuff. Because you can use that and it, you put in a different thing onto your stream key, you can go live without actually going live, and it tests your actual connection. It's honestly a freaking amazing tool. I use it all the time when I'm testing stuff if I want to check things. Like, you can see kind of when bitrate drops happen, and how long it took to come back, all that fun stuff. It's actually very, very handy. I like it a lot. I'm kind of glad I found out about it. There was a point yesterday, last night's stream, where I had a unstable bit. Oh, right in the beginning, apparently. Oh, actually, that makes sense. I think. Sorry, I didn't really look at... Yeah, okay, yeah, just right in the beginning. Alright, that's fine. I mean... I don't see how it was considered unstable. I'm looking at the stats for the stream last night with Batman, and apparently for the first 15 seconds of the stream, it was like, what's going on, what's going on? Even though it was... 1, inside my normal bit range. 2, the FPS, frames were fine. But apparently for 15 seconds, it's like, unstable, unstable, danger, Will Robinson, danger. But then it was fine after that. A brief spike down at one point, but it didn't go too low. Which, is what it is. So I don't know what was up with that. So far, we're fine here. Yeah, we're good here so far. I think that happened when I swapped scenes over, probably. Anyway, enough about that, technical bullshit stuff. I mean, that stuff's happening just because, well, Wi-Fi. Which, whatever. I'm still streaming at a higher bit rate than when I was using Wi-Fi, back in my old place. And it's still consistent. I'm giving it that, so much more consistent. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And if for whatever reason it doesn't want to be stable for long periods of time, I still have my power line adapters, so I can always set those up again. Finding the outlet by the router will be maybe a little more difficult, but I'll figure it out. I'm crafty. At least I think I'm crafty. I don't know. Alright, so, what happened the last time we went through Grisaia? Very, very simple, I suppose. Just Makina telling us about what her call with her grandfather was about, and it was him trying to bring her back into the family. wanting her to come back, because apparently he had just found out she was released from the hospital, so someone was keeping that from him. And he's like urging her, you need to come back. She's saying no, and he's just saying, think about it. People aren't going to really accept that answer, so just think about it. UG, being UG, is like, I'm going to support whatever decision you make. If you want to go, you're going to go. If you want to stay, you can stay. If people try to take you, even though you don't want to go, I'm going to, make them not alive. That kind of thing. And when we left off, when we left off last time, before everything kind of went nuts, Makina had gone off to her next shift at her job, and we were starting to tail behind her to be her bodyguard without her knowing we were her bodyguard. Just because of the whole psychological thing. If she knows she's being watched and protected by Yuji, she would act differently, even if she was told just act normal. She'll still act a little off, and they'll tip off anyone that could potentially be targeting her, which would change their tactic. But Yuji tailing her on his own, not letting her know that he's, following her, watching her. That means no one else is going to be thinking she's being watched, so he can more easily take care of anyone that tries to get to her. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of mind games for assassins. He's putting himself in the mindset of assassins, like, if I were to try to kill her, where would I go? He picked out 2 possible sniper posts, like, spots. One isn't great because it's pretty out in the open and anyone would see someone, setting up a rifle and sitting there for a bit. The other spot is, like, a lot more secluded, but you only have, like, a short window between buildings to actually shoot her. While also having to deal with, it being a side profile shot, not like head-on or from the back, where there's more of a target to hit. Makina is also small, so she's a small enough target to hit. Trying to hit a small target who's also facing sideways is even harder. So he's just putting himself into the mind of an assassin to figure out where someone could be, checking them out to clear them, and then just continuing on from there. Runs into anybody or sees something suspicious, he will obviously check it out and or kill them. Well, it depends what he's feeling like. But, that's enough of the recap there, I would say. Let's just kind of fire it up and, well, continue. Yeah, there he is, talking about the second spot we're having to shoot her. I believe the other place he was thinking of, the first place, it was like only 300 meters away. So it's a much shorter distance and a lot easier to line up. Because obviously the closer you are, the easier it is to, aim and shoot something. Further away, you gotta take into effect even more things. Wind will make much more, need to be considered a lot more. There's a lot of factors that go into sniping. As he said, you can't just have someone go by in a car, pull out, shoot, and then go with a sniper rifle. No. That takes time and prep to set up your shot properly. And snipers usually work in teams of 2. One's the spotter, the other's the shooter. Obviously, the spotter, he calls out the targets, gets them to line up, tells informs his, the shooter of varying conditions and if to change up something, and then, just says go for it kind of thing. Yeah. Alright, so, I'm just gonna continue on. What's more, you'd be firing at Makina from the side as she walks past, from a range of 600 meters. If you take the time to identify the girl after she enters your field of view, she'll have walked right by before you can get a bullet over there. In other words, you've got one chance, and it only lasts a few seconds. Can't see it working without a cooperator following the target, constantly keeping you up to date on her movements. Stopping just before an intersection that connects my side street to the main road, I peer down at the map in my hand, playing a blue-collar worker new to the area. And while glancing around, as if to search for landmarks, I spot Makina approaching from the left. Keeping the brim of my plain workman's cap low over my eyes, I proceed to gaze in her general direction, not focusing on anything in particular. When you start deliberately darting your eyes around looking for suspicious people, you tend to get tunnel vision. Actually end up missing more than you would otherwise. On the other hand, when you take in the scene as a whole like you're appreciating a work of art, people move in unusual ways will stand out as if painted in vivid hues. Right now, we're near the very tail end of the morning rush to work. There aren't many people on the streets. Among the sparse crowd, one man quickly catches my eye. He's strolling along behind Makina, shooting her regular glances while putting on a great show of casually looking around the area. Complete amateur, any way you look at him. The tale's comically awful. I've seen love-struck middle schoolers stalking their crushes with more subtlety. At a glance, the guy seems to be in his late 20s or early 30s. He's wearing a 3,000 yen pair of loafers and a 2 for 30k suit. Okay. All right. Okay, so he's saying he bought a cheap suit. He bought 2 suits for $300. And $30 pair of shoes, and he's basically wearing a $150 suit. Yeah, low end. I assume. He's also got a pair of eyeglasses with unusually thick black rims, perhaps as an attempt at disguise. But counterproductively, they make him stand out in the crowd. I could almost just leave this be. Not like he's gonna get anything worthwhile. But even so, I'd like to know who this kid belongs to. Folding the map into a neat square and putting it away in my chest pocket, I casually step into the nearby Busky Robinson ice cream store. Oh my god. Busky Robinson. Couldn't afford. We didn't want to get sued. Let's get a Busky Robinson ice cream. After we have a quick bite to eat at McDonald's. God. While drinking a good old Dr. P.
8月12日午前8時15分対象者の追尾を開始記録者井原直之
Okay, so this is all voice. That's amazing. Muttering into the mic of the IC recorder set up in the inside pocket of his jacket, Ihara followed the girl from behind with his eyes. Crying out loud. Why did it turn out like this? It had been a year and a half since Ihara resigned his previous position in a security company and took a job at IGS Detective Agency through a friend's recommendation. Detective work had appealed strongly to Ihara since childhood. He did, of course, understand by now that a real flatfoot's job wasn't the hard-boiled stuff in the stories. But changing the title on his business card from guard to investigator proved too tempting to pass up. However, even after 3 long months of training, he was relegated to sorting raw material, processing documents, and other desk work. And the rare field work that trickled down to him tended to be odd jobs like investigating adultery or searching for lost pets. He spent the better part of a year waiting unhappily for a chance to flex his muscles a little. Just as he was starting to feel something like regret at ditching the security guard position, a senior employee abruptly stopped by and said, "Chief wants to see you. Get a move on. The clothes are fine as they are." Yahada's first reaction had been to tilt his head in confusion and try to remember if he'd screwed anything up lately. Then the man leaned down and whispered, "Seems like you're getting a pretty important job." He'd honestly been pretty damn excited for the chance to get some real work. Thrilled, even. Until he learned the important job amounted to stalking a little girl. More than a bit of a letdown. That said, this Irasu Makina kid currently tromping along the sidewalk 8 meters or so ahead of him was certainly keeping Ihara on his toes. The girl was constantly glancing around the area as she walked, and if something caught her eye, she'd often come to an abrupt and total halt. Keeping a constant distance was proving very difficult. And even worse, she seemed to have a habit of glancing briefly behind her every time she turned a corner, never failing to startle him. It almost seemed like she might just have a terrible sense of direction. That constantly moving gaze could be her memorizing the area, and turning around might be an attempt to imagine the trip back home ahead of time. But according to the documents, Irasu Makina had been living in the city for nearly a year. It's hard to imagine getting lost would be a big issue at this point. Was she simply one of those ADHD kids, or what? Oh god, okay. If you looked at her behavior as deliberate acts of caution, you could almost see her as a well-trained spy, but... Ihara knew he was probably deluding himself on that one. Just some part of him, trying to make this more interesting than it really was. In reality, Irasu Makina didn't project the fierce, predatory menace of a trained agent. If anything, she looked more like a nervous little chipmunk, fearful of everything around her. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. The girl had come to a sudden stop. She seemed to be peering into the LCD screen of a small electronic toy tied to her belt. Unless he was careful, Ihara was going to overtake her. He knew the girl's destination, so it would still be possible to resume surveillance even after passing her. But for now, he wanted to keep observing from behind. Ihara slowed his pace a little, then reached into his inner jacket pocket and pretended to search for his cell phone. What are you doing? Hurry up and get walking. At this rate, he was going to walk right on by her. It'd be hard to stay out of his target's field of vision much longer. At this point, maybe abandoning the surveillance outright would be best? It'd be easy enough to take out his phone, check his mail, then abruptly turn around as if called back on some urgent errand. What do I do? Time to call it a day? 5 meters from his target, Ihara decided to make up his mind one way or the other within the next 2 meters. But as he continued his slow approach, Irasu Makina suddenly looked up from the toy at her waist, then broke into a pattering run. Damn it! She's completely unpredictable! What now? Run after her? He knew the girl was headed to her bakery, so it probably wasn't strictly necessary. But there wasn't much point in a surveillance mission if he couldn't keep her in sight. Game. I think the game glitched out on the texts. Yeah, it did. Yeah, the game glitched out. Okay, I remember the trick you guys told me about, actually. To load it back up, and then it would be fixed. I think. Oh, not jump into the next choice. Okay, there we go. I fixed it somewhat. Yeah, that's annoying. Guess I could pretend to be worried about the time. Looking down at his watch, Ihata jerked with feigned surprise and started to break into a run. But with his very first step, an unexpected impact brought him to an abrupt halt. Whoops. Ah, sorry. A man in a pea green work uniform had suddenly stepped out from the side street directly into Ihata's path. The laborer was wearing a cap of the same color, low over his eyes. In his left hand, he was holding a piece of paper that looked like a crude map. Very sorry. Are you okay? The man bowed his head apologetically. Must have been looking at his map as he walked. Judging from his awkward Japanese, he probably wasn't from around here. For some reason, there was a timid half-smile on his face. When Ihata followed the man's gaze down, he couldn't help shouting out loud. The breast of his suit was covered in thick gobs of ice cream. When he took another look, Ihata realized the man was holding a half-eaten cone in his other hand. It looked like one of those pat-pong shower numbers from that Busky Robbins place the kids are going to these days. Sorry. Go binda bayo? Speaking cryptic words in a remorseful tone of voice, the man started rubbing at Ihata's suit with his bare hands. He ruined his $150 suit. Funny? Dare mana ton?
おい、やめろって。どこ触ってんだよ。もういいからあっち行けよ。
This is not good. Gathering this much attention on a tailing job was a huge blunder. While warding off the man persistently trying to clean his suit, Ihata hurriedly turned his head in the direction of Itasu Makina. But the girl was already gone. At least he hadn't been outright discovered by the target of his subject of his surveillance. But continuing to tail her after this would be very difficult. It'd probably be best to withdraw for the moment, then resume shadowing the girl after she finished at her part-time job.
もういいって言ってるだろ。お前、不法就労者じゃないだろうな。
The man visibly flinched at the word illegal. Finally abandoning his inept attempt at brushing off Ihata's clothing, he pulled his cap down even lower over his eyes. Just! And with this parting remark, the man in the work uniform beat a hasty retreat. Oh my god. I want to know what language, or what attempt at a language, fucking Yuji was trying to speak there.
何なんだよ、あいつは。
Whatever the case, things just hadn't worked out today. Ihata reached into his jacket to switch off his IC recorder. And in the next instant, he let out another reflexive shout. The slim metal recorder that had been in his interior jacket pocket was gone. When Ihara moved his hand to the opposite pocket, the cell phone he'd left there was also missing. Disbelieving, he reached into the rear pocket of his pants to discover even his wallet had vanished. He fucking pickpocketed him. He quickly spun around, but the suspicious foreign laborer had completely disappeared. Now Yuki Ihara fought a powerful urge to lie down on the sidewalk and curl up into a ball. God damn. Die, 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 die. Die, Makurov. I don't know what the hell you're singing right now. In a narrow, dim alleyway 2 streets removed from the station plaza, a laborer was sitting on a stack of beer cases and humming the Lightspeed General Makarov theme song to himself. Oh my god, they brought this back? His attention was focused on a certain wallet, the fruit of his day's labors. There were 17,000 yen in bills inside. Small purse had another 657 in coins. Not a bad haul by any means, but nothing to turn up your nose at. Inside the card sleeve, there was an ATM card from a bank, credit card, patient registration ticket from a dentist, and proof of membership at a video rental shop. Oh my god, video rental? Who remembers that? I do. I wasn't a member. I wasn't old enough to have some kind of membership, nor have a steady stream of income in any way, shape, or form to be able to afford a video rental membership. Parents did, though. Blockbuster. I miss Blockbuster. I still miss Blockbuster a lot. There's just something magical about going there on like a Friday night, getting either a movie or a game and renting it for basically either a day, but if it's a Friday, you're gonna want it for like a 3 days or even a week. Movies, we generally did maybe I think it was like 1 or 2 day rentals, just so we actually had time to watch it. And games, we generally did a week rental, just because it's a video game. I'm not gonna play a video game for 1 day. I remember renting Star Fox 64 and Super Smash Bros. And Pokemon Stadium. Rented those all the time. Then we eventually got our own copy of Pokemon Stadium. And Star Fox. I only recently got my own copy of Smash Bros. By recently, I mean within like the last, 5-6 years or so. I have a whole bunch of N64 games. Sister got me an N64 for Christmas the one year. And just, yeah, I got a nice little collection of them. I'm looking at my capture card right now. Sorry, something has just caught my attention. I need to look it up right now. Okay, it's possible. Ooh. Okay, that's actually possible. So, it is in fact possible. I just looked it up. For my my Elgato capture card here to actually pick up a signal from an N64. Obviously, I need cables to, you know, change the, you know, the VGA to HDMI, but it is possible. Multiple people have shown video of that, and N64 is apparently even listed on is actually listed on Elgato's support thing, something it can do. So, maybe one of these days I'll pull that bad boy out and try. We'll have to use the awkward as fuck N64 controller, but it's interesting. I could have that sitting out here as well. What a wonderful generation. I'd have multiple generations of consoles sitting out on my desk with my computer. PS4 next to the Xbox 360, next to the Nintendo 64. I got one from each of the big three, but all in like sequential generations. More or less. Actually, no, I'm missing a generation. The N64... No, was it? Okay, I'd be missing a generation, actually. That's skipping a generation between the 360 and the N64. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, sorry, I'm now into a rabbit hole of this. Give me just one moment. Okay, Yes, I will be missing a generation. The N64 is considered the 5th generation, while the Xbox 360 is considered the 6th, I believe. I'm gonna have to look at this again. Ah, there we go. Found a better one. Yeah. N64 is 5th generation, 360 is 7th generation, and, the PS4 is the 8th generation. PS5 and all that stuff that's out right now is the 9th generation. We went through 9 generations of consoles. Actually kind of nuts. To be fair, a lot of these generations also have overlap with each other just because that's how it is. I mean, 5th generation was apparently from 93 to 06, while the 6th started in 98. Then ended in 2013, but the 7th started in 2005, so at one point 5th, 6th, and 7th gen were all happening at the same time. But I mean, 5th gen was on its way out the door. Oh, even the same with 6, 7, 8. They had a year overlap with each other. And then 7th went the way of the dinosaurs. I mean, 6th went the way of the dinosaurs. 7th is also gone the way of the dinosaurs. No overlap, though, between 9 and 7, though. 8th is still going on, and 9th started 3 years ago. At least according to this, whatever their source for defining generations as. Not sure how they differentiate these. I guess it's literally just by the hardware types. Mostly, like the CPUs. That's kind of what it looks like. They're the one thing that's kind of consistent throughout that changes all the time. The first generation CPU were discrete diode transistor logic and transistor to transistor logic. Second gen was 8-bit with 1 to 2 megahertz. Third was also 8-bit, but with 2 to 4 megahertz. Fourth was 8 and 16-bit, doing 4 to 8. And 32 and 64 with 12 to 100 megahertz. Sixth, 32 and 64 with 200 to 733 megahertz. Oh boy, oh boy. 7th gen 32 and 64-bit with 729 megahertz to 3.3 gigahertz. Good lord, it all just keeps going up. 8th gen was 32 to 64 with 1 to 2.3 gigahertz. What the hell happened? What happened? Why did it go down so much? Oh, well, then again, at this time, they also started getting, actually, it was in the 6th generation, they started having GPUs as well. And also memory. Oh my god, there was only memory starting in the 2nd gen. Guys, 2nd gen was crazy. They could have memory up to 16 kilobytes. That's insane. That is nuts. 16 kilobytes? Holy hell. Let's look at the 9th gen. Oh, they also have 16 gigabytes. God, I think kilobytes used to be such a big number way back when. Oh man, well, time keeps moving forward. It just keeps going and going and going. I know I do this a lot, but I do think back fondly about some stuff. A lot of things way back when from childhood. Just how quickly just everything moves. Absolutely nuts. I remember Windows 95, guys. I remember having that installed on a computer. Windows 95, and then, you know, Windows 98. I remember that stuff going on. I remember my computers having straight-up floppy drives. Christ. I remember having some floppy disk games. It was a Wizard of Oz one. It just had a lot of, like, simple puzzles and games on them. Very, very simple. I did find them once online. I'm sorry, I'm going into a rabbit hole again, but I gotta find that. Floppy disk game. That's not it. Is that it? Is it Reading Adventures in Oz? Just need images of the gameplay. Yep, found it. That was easy. Reading Adventures in Oz. It had 3 floppy disks. And it was on 3 floppy disks. Educational computer game released for Microsoft DOS. Yeah, DOS. Last time I saw DOS, oh, I mean, then again, I have seen DOS very, very recently. At my old work, that's how our that's how the 40 theater ran on. The computer was running on fucking MS-DOS. It's the 2020s, and that computer was still running on DOS. Apparently, finding parts for it is like nearly impossible. So they're always afraid if something on that computer fries, they're not gonna be able to get it back and be forced to, you know, actually upgrade. Fucking Ah, God, fucking DOS. Anyway, enough of that. Let's continue on with the game. There's also a driver's license for standard cars with a gold stripe. What the hell's the difference between what does that even mean? Okay, now I gotta find out what that means. It's a type of driver's license. Gold license is a safe driver license. You need to have a completely clean record during your period as a blue driver. Once that happens, you're tied to a short form of license. You get the license in under an hour, and all extras quicker official effects. Huh. The thing is, license, most people who have it don't actually drive. Most of them are just people who have a license for the purposes of identification. Japan has so many of these people they create their own word for it. Paper driver. Okay then. Gold is blue. Oh, blue is regular license. Gold is your safe driver. Interesting. Huh. Interesting, okay. So he's labeled a safe driver, but possibly doesn't drive. Okay. Other than that, I've got 20 convenience store coupons. Considering he's walking around with them, doesn't look like these get used too often. Methodical, but a little too much pride for his own good? The back of the dentist ticket revealed that its owner's last visited only half a year ago. The man must have been going for regular checkups to have tartar scraped off, or what have you. Definitely the methodical type. Yahara Naoki-san, eh? Naturally, the back of the driver's license is unblemished by violations. It was a genuine gold license. The man snapped open a small aluminum case he'd swiped along with the wallet, finding the inside full of business cards. An IGS kid. I see.
Oi! そこで何をしている?
The man in the work uniform knew that voice all too well. And this wasn't the first time he'd been rendered half blind by that overly bright flashlight either. Softly clicking his tongue, he got to his feet.
Oi, oi! Kazami-san yo. Mata anta ka?
You cut me a break.
いい加減にしてくれないか?
It's not like I did anything this time, you know?
あんた、なんだその格好? ついに学校をクビになって就職でもしたのか?
Hey, Brozard, how's it going? Yeah, what the hell I'm answering that. I'm a working student. This is the uniform from my part-time job.
なんか怪しいな. あんたこんなとこで何やってたんだい？
Tried to time that when you switched to Yuji. Ah, close. Close, but no cigar. Not much. Happened to find a wallet over there, so I was looking it over to see if I could return it to the owner.
本当に？あんたが吸ったんじゃないだろうね。
Come on, I'm being a good Samaritan here, you know? Here, this is the wallet.
中身の金は残っているようだな。あんた少し猫ばばしていたりしないだろうな。
I'm not desperate enough to steal other people's money. I work for my food, as you can see. I was able to get the nasty investigation for work done yesterday. Now I'm writing up a report on the discrepancy to send off and be done with this. Oh, thank God, that's almost done. That's good. I'm glad that's pretty much done for. That sounded like it was a pain in the ass.
そうか。いや、冗談だ。申し訳ない。
More importantly, it seemed like the owner had some business cards in there.
ああ、これか。何々 ?IGS 探偵社調査員伊原直之か。
A detective, huh? Guessing from the contents of his wallet, it doesn't seem like that lucrative a profession.
あんた、中身を見たのか？
TLDR, gift cards, and SKU mapping. Oh, God. It's always the gift cards, right? Always the gift cards. Oh, yeah, of course. Is that a crime now?
いや、そういうわけじゃないが。
IGS Detective Company, eh? The Izuka General Security Private Investigative Agency, right? Wasn't that Izuka Satoru guy who runs it a Sakura Daemon alum? God damn. They're just dude throwing it all at us now. Just like, yeah, get fucked. You don't know how to pronounce these names? Have fun.
詳しいな。
That name's pretty famous after all. Oh, but I did hear they dabble in some behind-the-scenes political jobs as well. Any truth to that?
知らんよ。とにかくこの財布は俺が預かっておく。一緒に交番まで来てくれ。
Why? What, again? Your boss isn't gonna be too happy if you drag me back in.
そうは言ってもな。習得者の氏名と連絡先を聞くのが手順だからな。
Okay, fair enough. Why don't you say you're the one who found it? Even if you write my name down, each guy is just gonna have the paper torn up. You'll only be making trouble for yourself.
しかし。
Okay. Here, give me that wallet for a minute.
どうするつもりだ？
I'm gonna drop it on the ground. Then you're gonna pick it up. That way, you won't be falsifying your documents.
わかったよ。俺がここで拾ったことにすればいいんだろ。
Oh my god. Why not at least pretend to pick it up?
はいはい。お、こんなところに財布が落ちているじゃないか。これでいいか？
Good job. Oh, while we're at it, take these two.
携帯電話となんだこれは？
A voice recorder. Unfortunately, somebody or other seems to have cleared the memory. It was just lying here with the wallet.
おい、本当にあんたが吸ったんじゃないだろうな。
Word of advice: don't ask any more questions. I'm willing to bet your life's going to go a lot smoother that way.
確かにな。あんたのことは黙認しろと上から言われている。
Just put up with him. That's it. Just put Kazumi Yuji, just put up with him. Just don't drag him back into the station for no good reason, please. We don't need to deal with Ichigai anymore.
けどな、風見さんよ。俺は犯罪を見て見ぬふりをするために警官になったわけじゃないぞ。
And I'm not saying you should. You have my word. I'm not looking to make you complicit in any evil doing on my part.
風見さんよ。あんた、本当に迷惑だな。
Human beings can't live without inconveniencing others.
まあいいさ。俺はここで財布を拾っただけだ。あんたにも会っていない。それでいいんだな。
That works. Speaking from experience, people who know when to keep their mouths shut get ahead in life faster. You'll climb the ladder in no time.
嬉しかねえな。
Okay, I'll be going now.
あんまり仕事増やしてくれるなよ。次は本当に逮捕するぞ。
I'll watch my step. Starving highway robbers in war-torn countries will murder people for a single can of food. Comparatively speaking, a filched wallet is hardly worth whining about, right? Not that I'm dumb enough to voice the thought. When people are raised in different environments, they'll naturally look at the exact same things in very different ways. But I'm not complaining. A peaceful way of life. Not seeing things best left unseen, ignorant of facts best left unknown, needs to be supported from the shadows. And that's the one and only reason anyone would bother keeping trash like me around. Jesus Christ, this man is so self-deprecating. Oh, this ain't good. It's playing the bad music. Why is it playing the bad music? IGS Detective Agency. A major private investigation company, profitable enough to plaster ads across giant billboards in front of Tokyo train stations. Well known for its founder, the former Sakura Daemon big shot Satoru Iizuka. Lately, the man's been getting a lot of face time as a security expert on news programs and such, earning plenty of free publicity for his agency. It's a well-known, respectable business. But IGS is also well-versed in shady political dealings, thanks to a tendency to offer retiring police lucrative advisory jobs. Learn to speak, Baron. For a private business, you hear a lot of rumors about their involvement with incidents concerning the establishment. In reality, however, they do seem to know where to draw the line. IGS claims to be a completely independent private company with no tolerance for illegal behavior, and it doesn't seem to just be a pretense. The fact that one of their employees was investigating Makina's behavior means that her enemies are still in the exploratory stage for now. Those people aren't going to harm her even if I leave them alone. The question is how long that harmless observation will continue, and what comes after it. I decided to try and analyze the situation from the ground up. There are 4 basic questions here. Why? Who? How? And finally, what do I do about it? Why is Makina being targeted? She was removed from her position as the successor of her family because of health problems, but now her recovery has been confirmed. Simple as that. Until now, Makina's good health hadn't been public knowledge. That was protecting her. Otherwise, the girl probably would have been targeted the moment she was discharged from the hospital. Okay, I'm gonna guess Asachi's trying to talk to us, but we're so deep in thought we don't notice her. Next question. Who is targeting Makina? Logically speaking, it's the people who'd be inconvenienced by her return as the future head of the Irisu. In other words, the branch house or its allies. Learning that Makina had recovered, the main family attempted to murder the branch family's figurehead, her half-sister. In retaliation, the branch family is beginning to maneuver behind the scenes, most likely aiming at removing Makina from the equation. And as for the how that powerful faction inside the Irisu intends to treat Makina from now on, for the moment, they're still gathering information. But once they're satisfied with the investigation, they'll probably move to take more direct action against her. Since she's staying put for the moment, I'm anticipating they'll begin with a harassment campaign to intimidate her. But there's a definite chance that might progress into attempts on her life. In the end, what do I do? The answer's not going to change, no matter who I'm up against. That said, there's a possibility of this opponent choosing to come at us with force of arms, and we don't have the personnel or equipment to resist. In that case, how about seizing the initiative? Better to crush cockroaches before they hatch. Take it one step further, and it's most efficient to kill the mother roach before she even lay her eggs. Of course, if I try anything along those lines, there won't be any turning back. My employer would no doubt hunt me down, but I'd rather die keeping her safe than live as a slave to the national interest. He was just too deep in thought. He never noticed anybody. What? Sakaki? What's wrong? Seems I was a little too deeply lost in thought. I didn't even notice Sakaki until she was standing right in front of me.
どうしたじゃないでしょ。
With this remark, Sakaki abruptly reaches out for my face, then tightly seizes my cheeks between her thumb and forefingers. Oh my god. Yes! What the... Why are you had...
ひどい顔ね。
Maybe you could stop pinching me then?
何を思い詰めているのか知らないけれど、あんまり怖い顔をしていると女の子に嫌われるわよ。
You really think being popular with the ladies is Yuji's concern right now? No, never has been. Say what?
鏡を見てごらんなさいな。あなたの目、どろりと濁った中にもギラギラと底光りしていて、まるでけだもののような目をしているわよ。
Men are all ceased, you know.
冗談を言う余裕はあるよね。あなた、さっき小峰さんに声をかけられたこと気がついていた？
No, he did not. Sachi was? When?
ほんの数分前のことよ。ここであなたを見かけて何度か声をかけたのだそうだけれど、返事もしないし、追い詰められた獣のような恐ろしい顔をしていたので、それ以上は声をかけることもできなかったそうよ。
I see. Sorry. Got a little lost in thought.
さっきという言葉が適切なのかはわからないけれど、あなたがここでそうしているだけで寮全体の空気がピリピリするようだわ。そういう顔をあまりうちの子たちに見せないでほしいのだけれど。
Huh? I'm sorry, around our kids? I'm sorry? Our kids?
うん、うちの学園の子という意味よ。私の子供のことじゃなくて。
Yeah, sure. I'm sure that's what you meant. you have children?
ないわよ。
It's a joke! I try my best to smile, but I just can't seem to get it right. No shit, she's pulling out your cheeks like this. Ow. I suppose the fact Sakaki's pinching my cheeks with renewed vigor has something to do with that. But that's not the only problem. The girl's right. I'm on edge, to the point of unconsciously projecting a menacing aura. In fact, it's pretty damn impressive that Sakaki managed to pinch my cheeks under those circumstances. I look at her with a little admiration in her eyes. Just a little admiration. Oh, in my eyes, I mean, oh my god. I can't read again. My bad. Exhaling deeply as if to clear out a mass of bad air gone stagnant in my lungs, I let the tension drain from my shoulders, then unclench my fists. Here's zipper noise. I didn't hear the WoW go off. Also, how you doing, Nick?
Wow.
There it is. That was delayed. Why was WoW, of all things, delayed? I don't know. Yeah, thanks, sound. Technology, am I right? Sakaki, who had been glaring at me irritably all this time, peers deep into my eyes to confirm I've regained lucidity.
よし。
Then briefly nods and releases my smarting cheeks at least. Yeah, no shit, she pinched the shit out of him. Of course
イ
they'd
リ
be
スさん
smarting.
絡みのことで何かあったのね。
And of course she knows. Why do you know that?
悪いとは思ったのだけれど、イリスさんのことを少し調べさせてもらったわ。彼女、書類上ではまだ当主の座にいるようね。妹さんはあくまでも代理という立場みたい。
Oh, so she wasn't actually disowned. She is the future head. Okay. Still is. Okay. That kind of makes a bit more sense. Yeah, that really doesn't give her many options. Like, on paper, you were still the head. Your sister was just acting in your stead for now. What does that mean?
つまり、正式な辞任がなされていないということなのよ。
She was always the successor, so once it was confirmed she would be fine, her sister would step down from any duty she was doing, and Makina would resume them. Oh, that's actually a major problem if she was never formally resigned. Ooh dear. What are the Branch families upset? Their representative was never actually gonna succeed. Especially if they knew Makina was still around. I think they assumed she was still in the hospital, and therefore, you know, acting would just continue to be the actual one. Sorry, I'm playing around with USB. You know me. But the girl's not interested in inheriting. She made that very plain to her grandfather.
イリス家だって一枚岩ではないし、そう簡単な話ではないことはあなたも知っているでしょ。いくら本人が辞めたいと言っても、はいそうですかというわけにはいかないのね。
Then what can we do?
そうね。ちゃんとした話し合いの席で立ち会い人の同席のもと、 正式な辞任手続きを済ませて後任に委ねるのね。
The problem with that is who's going to be the new successor. Her half-sister is dead, so I don't think anyone else has children. I don't think Makina has any other siblings. So what, it would go to like her mom then? That's the only other like direct blood relative.
So 簡単にはいかないでしょうけれど。
Why not? Sounds pretty straightforward.
宗家を勝ち馬として支えてきた人たち。これまで宗家に融資を受けてきた関連企業や海外提携企業。宗家の代表が主権から外れると不利益を被る人たちが黙ってはいないでしょ。これは私が勝手に計算した結果だけれど、もし現時点でイリス家の主権が分家に移った場合、国内流通、小売、製造、海外輸出入を含むと約 7% の景気後退が発生する見込みになるわね。
Okay. 7% across the entire country?
ええ、そう。全世界的に見れば 1.7% の損失よ。数年前から続く世界恐慌に拍車がかかるわね。さしずめ、イリスショックといったところかしら。
In other words, Makina saying no would impact the entire world?
そういうこと。どんな理由があろうと逃げ出せない。それが許されない世界というものは存在するのね。
Makina's still a child, Sakaki.
イリスさんは宗家が掲げる旗印なのよ。大人かどうかなんて関係ないわ。
What feudal bullshit. They just want to use the blood in her veins.
かわいそうだけれど、それが彼女の生まれ持った業なのよ。
Is there nothing we can do about that?
だからゆっくりと時間をかけて主権を移譲しつつ20年ぐらいかけて正式に辞任するか、あとは
There's an alternative?
あと3年間逃げ回るか。
Run away for another 3? How do you run away for 3 years? 3 years? What happens in 3 years?
イリスさんが健康上の理由で当主の座を妹さんに預けたのが7年前。10年間当主の任に復帰することができなければ、彼女は家督相続権を強制的に剥奪されるのよ。
Okay. In other words, if she doesn't return to her old position within the next 3 years...
そう。イリスさんは権利をすべて剥奪されて、普通の女の子になるわ。
3 years, huh? For me alone, disappearing for 3 years wouldn't be impossible. But if I'm taking Makina along as well, the situation almost certainly wouldn't be so simple. The main house would be using all their power to search for her. And the Branch family, too, would no doubt try to take the opportunity to secure their position by assassinating Makina while she's on the run and vulnerable.
少なくともイリスさんがこの学園にいる間は安全が保証されてはいるのだけれど、その約束もどこまで守られることやら。
I don't understand. What connection is there between the Irisu and this school?
関わりというほどのことでもないのだけれど、イリスさんをこの学園に入学させたのは分家筋の人間なのよ。
Branch family was responsible. Members of the Branch family put her here? Why?
つまりイリスさんをこの学園で3年間隔離すれば彼女の家督相続権は剥奪されるでしょ。宗家側には イリスさんが退院したことすら伝えずにそっと入れ物を移してしまったというわけね。
Okay.
事実、宗家側は最近までイリスさんの退院すら知らされていなかったし、彼女がいた病院には分家側が用意した影武者まで仕込んであったというのだから、周到な計画だったようね。
My head's starting to hurt. So in other words, as long as she stays in this school, under the Branch family's control, Makina's safe. Is that what you're telling me?
妹さんが爆発に巻き込まれる前の話ならそういうことになるけれど。
Wait, nearly killed? But the status quo has already been broken.
その通り。
No choice but to crush the eggs after all?
またそうやって怖い顔をする。もう一度つねる。
Oh god, he's talking back to his cockroach analogy. Look, Sakaki, I...
冷静になりなさい。あなた一人でどうにかできる問題ではないということは理解できたでしょ？
Yeah. I understand. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying.
強情。
She's the one thing in the world I decided to protect of my own will, not because someone ordered me to. I can't very well back down, can I?
少しだけイリスさんが羨ましいと思うのは他人事が過ぎるかしら。
Better not say that in front of her, at least.
何にせよ、今日明日でどうにかなる問題ではないわ。
Yeah, 3 years is like the earliest this will be solved.
宗家と分家も今はお互いに責任のなすりつけ合いと言いがかりの掛け合いに忙しいようだし、私の調べられる範囲であれば何か変化があったら教えてあげるから、しばらく静観してみては？
I suppose so. Well, well. The plot thickens.
セーブなのよさ。
There, just making sure I have a save. I'm also gonna take a quick break because I gotta use the bathroom, so, BRB. And I am back. Whew. One time I decided not to wear my sweater right now. Fine. I'll put it on after this. Sure, yep. Just as Sakaki said, there are no immediate changes in Makina's everyday life. She's able to follow her usual routine without incident. On days when she works at the bakery, I quietly follow her on the way over, and in the evenings, I wait outside to walk her home. It's starting to become a normal part of my day. When I slip out of the school's front gate a little after Makina, I never fail to spot a certain silver station wagon following her. Presumably more observers from that IGS detective agency. The first time I casually glanced in through the side window, I noticed that the man holding the steering wheel wasn't that Naoyuki Ihara guy who'd screwed up last time. Idiots clumsy enough to get their wallet stolen while following a target presumably get reassigned to pushing paper around. And I feel a small twinge of conscience. Passed quickly, though. It's like, oh yeah, I kind of feel bad. Anyway. I don't know who the new guy in charge is, but since he was given the job after the dunce failed, he is most likely a pretty competent investigator. On top of which, we've now got 2 men assigned to the case. From what Sakaki tells me, the people employing IGS are indeed connected to the Branch family. In short, they're probably trying to determine whether Makina's obediently keeping her head down, looking for any evidence of her coming into contact with the main family. The silver station wagon follows a good distance behind Makina until reaching the shopping district, at which point the man sitting in the passenger seat gets out. While the driver takes the vehicle around to park in an hourly lot on the other side of the station, then leans the seat back and lies down. It's what they call a package drop at my workplace. Since they've got 2 men on the job now, the observer and his driver seem to have a clear division of labor. Makes it easier to deal with sudden or unforeseen developments. Might seem slightly excessive just to keep an eye on Makina, but the bulk of their work actually seems to be investigating the people who enter the bakery where she works. The owner and his wife would have already been thoroughly checked, so instead they're photographing every single customer who stops by with a digital camera. They keep it up continually from 9 in the morning till later than 5 in the evening. When Makina goes out to deliver bread, the man in the car heads over to her destination, while his partner continues watching for customers in her absence. Yeah, it must be ridiculously dull work, but they're very consistent and they're conscientious? I don't know, whatever. Words. Clearly, a private detective's life isn't all thrills. But despite this obsessive investigation, they haven't found any suspicious individuals coming into contact with Makina. If there's a reason besides stubbornness that the Branch family hasn't called off the surveillance at this point, Sakaki speculates it might have something to do with me. Looking into the people around Makina would naturally mean they pursued a thorough round of inquiries into the identities of those related to her school as well. God damn. Learn to read, learn to speak. The principal would be the first on the list, but it no doubt included the visiting lecturers and contractors who maintain the facility. Sakaki, Amane, Michiru, and Sachi can't have been an exception. And among all of these, there's one and only one individual whose investigation would have turned up absolutely nothing. Myself, Kazami Yuji. Of course, I do have a profile. Anyone with a bit of knowledge about these things would find it suspicious at a single glance, There aren't any conclusive flaws or contradictions. My papers are clean and beautiful as driven snow. There must be someone over there who didn't like that overly tidy, blatantly prepared personal history. Yeah. It's a little too clean. That would seem the most likely explanation for the way they're dragging out this fruitless surveillance of Makina's surroundings. They're probably aware that this investigation isn't getting anywhere, but they're not prepared to back down until they get a read on me. I'm sure IGS isn't too broken up about this state of affairs, since they're no doubt getting paid well for their dull but easy work. On the other hand, the Branch family must be getting pretty aggravated by the deadlock. If you can't finish the investigation, why don't you remove the need to investigate? I don't know who made that call, but today the routine was finally broken. In the early evening, I'm making my way over to the bakery to pick up Makina when I notice a black sedan surging up the road ahead. The classless roaring of its exhaust system drawing louder and louder as it approaches. That's not the only reason the car stands out. All the side windows are covered with dark black film, and it's so low to the ground it's probably a cut spring. Zigzagging across the road to avoid a manhole cover, the car screeches to a halt in front of Makina's bakery. And before I can do anything but start in surprise, the window of the passenger side abruptly slides open. Oh my god, are they gonna do a fucking drive-by? Gotta be shitting me! As I take a first hurried step forward, my scalp burning with a sudden surge of panic. The muzzle of an automatic appears from inside the car. Oh my god, they're just straight up doing a drive-by at the bakery. Oh my god. They want her gone that badly. They're just gonna put a hit out on a fucking 15-year-old girl. God damn it! I've been too happy-go-lucky. It's not so complicated from their perspective, is it? Eliminating Makina solves the problem in a single step.
Okay, first. What? Second? The f***?
Family Feud. What do you expect? What do you expect, Brozard? Family Feud. Family Feud, political, everything's that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we wipe out the 15-year-old, we can put someone else's head. That's the easiest way to go about it, I guess. I don't... Family and corporate political squabbles, jeez. Shit gets so real. I'm sure we'll probably have more of this when we get to Sakaki's route. Hey, no way survey says this! Yeah, Steve Harvey right now, just like... Got him! Neka, huh? I love that. His reaction to that was just amazing. And the man's like enthusiasm in saying it too. I wouldn't want to see that either. Look, I know you're right. I don't want to break in the house. I don't want to see Grandma naked. I see Grandma naked in the shower at home. It was fucking right too. Steve Harvey's reaction to every answer is just like, wow. Yeah, that would be my reaction. 100% to seeing naked grandma. Ugh. God. I know you're right, okay? Honestly, Steve Harvey is a very, very funny host. Oh. Yeah, gun / occupant. And the guy's just like, whoa! He was too happy to be right about that one. Steve Harvey knows how to be entertaining and keep the crowd and everyone engaged. His overreactions to things are just perfect. He's also quite a shitty person with toxic views on gender roles and relationships, but he is a showman. Yeah, great showman, and if what you're saying is 100% true, yeah, definitely shitty person. Yeah, good showman, at the very least. Good showman. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you for that, Blizzard. Now, back to... this. Just, you know, a drive-by. And of all the cliched, simplistic ways to do it, I hadn't even considered the damn possibility. That was the most subdued automatic I've heard. Oh well. For a moment that seems to last a year, all I can do is curse my negligence. As the attacker's speed passed, I try to memorize the number and make of their car. There's a sticker on the rear window with the words Team Blood Cherry under a crude sketch of a skull holding a cherry bomb in its teeth. What the fucking... A biker gang? Oh, they hired a biker gang to do it so they wouldn't actually tie back to them in some way? It's also possible that they're pros in a stolen vehicle, pretending to be gangsters as a cover. But that's not what matters right now. Papa! Oh, she's fine. Okay. Okay, she's fine. Cool. They just shot at the bakery to shoot at the bakery? Oh, this is getting really weird, really real. I'm gonna probably have to do the content warnings pretty soon. Maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, even that was very, very subdued in what it was. Wasn't as, you know, in your face as cannibalism. Someone trying to gouge out their own heart with a box cutter. Oh god, I'm not gonna forget that. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna forget that from Michiru's route. Her trying to gouge out her own heart with a fucking box cutter. Oh. She had a scar already from the fucking heart surgery. She's definitely got another one from that. Ooh. Maybe that explains why she wears a one-piece swimsuit. Doesn't want all those scars on her chest to show. Makina! You're alright! Any injuries? Yeah, someone just shot up the bakery to get to you. Calm down. It's just some idiots from a biker gang screwing around. More importantly, you weren't injured?
僕の調理場にいたから怪我はないけど。なんなの？暴走族？
In any case, let's get back inside for the moment. A drive-by shooting is a lot like a bombing. By which I mean, the safest place you can be is one that's been hit already. There aren't many idiots who will plug another bullet right where they fired the first one. When I entered the bakery with Makina, the owner was cradling a telephone against his shoulder, desperately explaining that shots were fired through his window. From the tone of his voice, it's clear he's talking to the police. The nearest neighborhood station is right outside Mishima Cape Station, not even 200 meters away as the crow flies. Huh? They should be here in minutes. What the hell? As 200 meters away as the crow flies? What the Whatever, Yuji. Stop using these, like, metaphors and shit to describe stuff. Please don't let it be that guy again. At times like these, my bad premonitions are depressingly accurate. The last thing I want to deal with right now is my good friend, Officer Sourface, and his usual barrage of sarcasm and suspicion. Time to get moving. Under the circumstances, I was expecting a little resistance if Makina tried to leave as usual. But when the girl asks, "Can I go home now?" her employer just nods and says goodnight. Now that the terror has faded, the man seems to have worked up a good bit of outrage over the damage to his shop. He's too busy shouting at the policeman on the other end of the line to worry about anything else. Alright, let's go home. Despite her dopey personality, Makina's got sharp instincts. She surely figured out by now the bullets fired into the shop weren't a random prank. And the gloomy expression settled on her face. Or a gloomy, damn it. Whatever. I fall into step next to the girl, then wrap an arm around her shoulders and pull her close in a casually protective gesture. 4 bullets were fired in the direction of the shop. The first hit their signboard. The second and third penetrated the glass in the front show windows, ultimately lodging in the rear walls of the bakery. The fourth hit a plastic bucket in the alleyway outside. Most likely, they weren't fired at any particular target. The point of the shooting was to intimidate and threaten the people inside. In other words, it was simple harassment. A warning to the effect of, "We could kill you at any time if we needed you dead." That's definitely an effective threat. Of course, the intent of the attackers doesn't change the fact that potentially deadly bullets were fired at her store. It's no consolation in the slightest. Should this simple but effective threat convince Makina to quit her job at the bakery, it'd minimize her contact with the outside world and reduce the time wasted on fruitless investigations. For the Branch family, it was probably a minor risk well worth taking. Are you alright? Makina's been trudging along silently at my side for some time, looking down at the pavement below. She hasn't said a word since we left the bakery.
嫌だな。私と一緒にいる人はいつも迷惑するのよさ。
Yeah, now she's gonna blame herself for that. If there's a single person in the world who isn't causing trouble for someone. Oh, as if there isn't a single person in the world who isn't causing trouble for someone. Oh my god.
でも鉄砲で撃たれるような迷惑をかける子なんて私ぐらいなのよさ。
There was a driver in that car with her sister. Not that I'm going to remind her.
やっぱり私家に戻った方がいいのかな。その方が誰にも迷惑かけないのかな。
Maybe so. But you don't want to go back, do you?
うん。
Then you don't have to.
でも
Not to worry. I'll make sure this sort of thing doesn't happen again.
どうするの？何をする気なの、パパ。やめてよ。危ないことはしないで。お願いだよ。
It's nothing particularly dangerous. I'm just gonna get the police to give this their full attention.
警察に？
It's an organization that exists to keep law-abiding citizens safe and secure. Only normal to rely on them at times like these, right?
うん。
Nothing to worry about. Leave it to me.
うん。
To be honest, my employer has a tendency not to view relying on the police favorably. I don't personally enjoy begging them for favors myself. But the organization exists, and it's powerful enough once it gets moving. Not making use of them would be foolish. Once we've made our way back to the dorm, I entrust the clearly depressed Makina to Komine Sachi. I also considered the option of leaving this to Amane, but I decided our class representative would be a better choice this time. My reasoning concerns what you might call Sachi's peculiar virtues. Specifically, a certain quickness on the uptake, characteristic of an experienced maid, and the modesty to refrain from asking too many questions. When I abruptly show up and ask her to look after Makina, the girl doesn't request even the briefest of explanations.
はい、お任せください。
Instead, she nods her assent without even a moment's hesitation. Things wouldn't have gone nearly this smoothly with Amane. When it comes to Makina, the woman's something of a worrywart. She wouldn't be able to help barraging us with questions. Although I'm sure Amana'd eventually understand the matter's best left alone, it'd bother her so much she'd end up getting gloomy too. That might leave Makina feeling even worse than before. I'll have to explain what happened to Amane and the others in due time, but for the moment, leaving it to Sachi is probably the optimal choice.
マキちゃん、私のお部屋に来る？ミルクココアを入れようか。うん。ありがとう、サチ。
Sachi turns around with a flutter of her long skirt, gently rests a supportive hand on Makina's back, and heads for her room. For just an instant, the class representative looks back over her shoulder, her face expressionless as ever, and fixes her clear eyes on me. I'd like to hear the circumstances later. She doesn't make a sound, but I hear the words clearly enough. I nod briefly, then make my way up the stairs and head toward a certain room. Sakaki, it's me.
誰？
Me, your grandson. I'm in trouble. Please transfer 1 million yen to the following bank account.
詐欺なら他を当たってちょうだい。私は忙しいのよ。
Sorry to interrupt, but please open the door. This is urgent. There's a brief moment of what seems like hesitation on her part, but soon the lock clacks open.
一体何なの？急用って。
I'm bleeding from my crotch and it just won't stop. Got any extra sanitary napkins? Hey! I was just kidding! Come back!
次にふざけたことを言ったら、本当に血が止まらなくしてあげるわよ。
Oh. No, thank you. Sorry. This is serious, alright? Please hear me out.
何？言ってみなさいよ。
Let me borrow your computer.
は？
There's something I need to look into. I'd like to be alone in the room, if that's possible.
何を調べるつもり？
Kind of a long story.
何の説明もなしに私がいいわよって言うと思っているの？
Point taken. Okay, I'll give you the executive summary. Someone took a few pot shots at the bakery where Makina works. Fortunately, no one was injured. But it's most likely harassment from the Branch family to make her quit the job.
そう。ついに行動に移し始めたということね。
That's the theory, but I can't say for sure who was responsible yet. That's what I want to borrow your PC. That's what I want to borrow your PC to investigate, okay.
いいけど、あまりおかしなサイトにはアクセスしないでもらえる？
Appreciate it. I'll let you know when I'm done, so go kill some time reading the porn magazines under my bed or something. God damn it, man.
冗談よね。
Why don't you take a look and see?
まあいいわ。本当にあったら全部捨てるわよ。
Feel free. I give Sakaki a little wave as she stalks out of the room. Wonder what sort of expression she'd make if I changed her PC wallpaper to a picture of my groin. Oh, for fuck's sakes, dude, stop! This is serious, and you want to take crotch shots? You send Sakaki a dick pic, okay? Fucking Christ, man. Unfortunately, there's no time for such absurd pranks at the moment. I switch on the notebook computer sitting on her desk, then hunt around in my breast pocket for JB's business card as the machine boots up. Underneath a simple but professional logo consisting of the letters A and C overlapping, the words Asahi Clean LLC, 2nd Public Relations Division, and Harudera Yuria, Section Chief, are printed in embossed text, embossed type. In a smaller font below, there's an email address and a URL for the company's webpage. Once the computer loads its desktop, I immediately open a web browser, then type in the address. And just as you'd expect, a typical corporate front page for Asahi Clean Company appears. Normally, I'd only be using this through the company's secure internal telecommunications network. But even using a normal public connection, it's possible to get access to our database through an emergency ID and login. However, the company's not quite so happy-go-lucky as to hand out such lovely authorization to a mere part-timer like myself. I click on a small user ID field in the upper right of the page, enter Julia000393, then move my cursor to the password field. At this point, I pause to stroke my chin thoughtfully. Well then. Oh, hi, JB. Shut up. I've only seen her in her suit. Mostly. I don't recall seeing this, and, she's not really my type, but I can appreciate it. I can appreciate her. God damn it. Cold. Closing my eyes, I recall JB's body in all its vulgar glory. Oh my god, man. I've been out of touch for quite some time, but I don't think these numbers will have changed that easily. Oh my god, it's gonna be her fucking measurements, isn't it? Yeah, I think he means literally that kind of touch. Go to horny jail, bonk. 172 96569055. Okay. I tap in the figures as I recall them, then click the login button. I'm instantly bounced back with a burlesque, incorrect user ID or password error, or brusque, not burlesque, brusque. Why did I get oh my god, I got horny on the brain. Huh? Shit, no good. Did you put on some weight? Mistyping the password 3 times will trigger an automatic warning to the company. I've only got 2 more shots at this. 7296589257. How's that? The moment I click the login button for the second time, the hard disk begins grinding away intensely as a new page automatically opens virus detection software to scan the computer. Bingo. Should better watch that ice cream habit. After a minute or so, the browser window changes to a dry, functional terminal screen. Empty, except for a number of labeled tabs at the top. I select Vehicle Lookup, and a new frame pops up immediately. I quickly enter the car's manufacturer, model, color, and license plate number into the appropriate fields, and then run the search. The result? No corresponding vehicle found. I had been more or less expecting something of the sort would happen, so it's not particularly discouraging. This time, I try a search using only the license plate number, but again, the database gives me nothing. Seems they weren't using a license plate borrowed from another vehicle, but instead a counterfeit with a random mismatch of a number. In which case, the only remaining hint would be that sticker in the rear window, I suppose. I wonder if searching under Other might turn up something. Just as I'm pondering the next step, my cell phone begins to ring shrilly inside the pocket of my uniform. It's gonna be JB, straight up asking, "Yo, why are you using my login?" The caller should probably go without saying at this point. Hey there, JB.
ちょっとユージ、あなた今外からうちの広域通信網にアクセスしてるでしょ。
There was a little something I wanted to look into.
私の ID を勝手に使わないでっていつも言っているでしょ。
Let's not get too caught up on the little things, okay? Not to worry, I won't let anyone know you've gained weight lately. Our little secret.
そういうことを言ってるんじゃないでしょ。
Oh my god. Sheesh. Oh. You sure about that?
だからって別に太ったことを言いふらしていいってわけじゃないわよ。っていうか太ってません。あれはその時々パスワードを変える必要があって仕方なく数字を大きくしてみただけで。
Who are you making excuses to here?
それで何を調べようとしていたの？
A motorcycle club named Blood Cherry. Skull with a bomb in its mouth as a logo. Probably affiliated with local organized crime.
そんなこと、わざわざ不正アクセスしなくても私に聞けばすぐ済むことでしょ？
Well, probably so. But it's not directly connected to my work for the company, so I was trying to show a little restraint.
遠慮。
Yeah, that's restraint. What's at the tone of exhausted disbelief? You won't find many men more tactful than me.
はいはい。錯乱に暴力の暴でチェリーね。わかったわよ。私が調べておいてあげるわ。
Appreciate it.
いつまでに調べておけばいいの？
Sooner the better. Right now, if possible.
今すぐ
Yes, that's what I said.
あのね
Look, JB, I tried to do it myself because I didn't want to make you sigh like that.
まったく今すぐ調べればいいんでしょ今すぐ
Oh my fucking god. Can you handle that?
何のための中央調査部だと思っているのよできるに決まってるでしょ
Sorry about this. You have my undying gratitude.
あなたいっつもそうやって感謝するって言うけど本当に感謝してるの
I'm always grateful to you, JB. After all, now that Asako's gone, you're the only family I have left.
12分後に結果をメールするわ
Thanks, Julia. It's not a lie. I really am grateful to her. When Asako died and I nearly lost sight of the reason I was alive, somehow or other, Julia gave me the courage I needed to get back on my feet. Precisely 12 minutes later, an email arrives in my inbox from a certain punctual German. A certain place, huh? Okay, you know what? I think this is a good place to kind of stop for now because I'm going into something crazy. We're getting some guy getting the shit kicked out of him. I think it's a good place to put a pin in until, well, you know, next time. Let me just exit out of the game for myself. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I assume that was you. Yeah, it was totally me. Totally me kicking the shit out of someone. Yeah, I think that's good. Going for my close to about 2 hours. No, you were getting kicked? Oh yeah, that was totally me. I was totally being kicked. Always. I'm always getting my ass kicked by something. Oh, yeah, so yeah, that was pretty good. Got a little further. Still going at this slowly right now. So yeah, streams aren't nearly as long as they have been back at the old place. I was getting closer to like 3 hours consistently. But 2 hours is kind of comfortable right now, at least for while I'm here, until we kind of really settle into something. We'll see though. It'll probably go up very, very slowly. But that's okay. I kind of like my little 2-hour chunks for now. I do manage to get a lot accomplished in 2 hours, though. So that's always good. My hands are still freezing. Again, there's not going to be a second stream tonight, just because I am going out at some point to be doing things. You know, dinner with fam and all that fun jazz. So I don't know how long it'll be till I'm back, so I'm not even going to attempt to have any kind of actual stream. And tomorrow, more than likely, I will continue to do some more Fruit of Grisaia. More than likely. We'll see how I feel. I might swap over to start doing some Digimon Survive instead, honestly. I'm not sure yet. So I need to get through that. That at least to be easier to get through, just because, you know, I've done it before and I've got broken bonds. I'm slowly trying to get back into it. Maybe I'll just do Fruit of Grisaia tomorrow, and then next week I can start up doing Digimon Survive mostly. With, you know, Arkham as like kind of night time stuff, because, you know, Batman, it always takes place at night. See, Batman in the day is weird. Depending on how long my thing goes tonight, and if we have anyone over, I might continue our watch along in the Discord. We would be looking at it. Just gotta confirm for myself. Again. be doing the next 3 episodes of Gundam 00. That would be episodes 14 to 16. We're like halfway through the first season. God damn, that went really quick. I know on the Discord I said I'd only be doing these like maybe once a week, but because I have a lot of time where I'm not working or going anywhere, it's just kind of, hey, it's easy enough to throw it on. Why not? But once I am actually eventually, you know, in work, which should be starting in like May, yeah, then it'll probably limit that to maybe weekly instead of just almost every other day at this point. And a reminder, if you guys want to join the Discord to get any of those kinds of updates and stuff, or join in those watch-alongs, just feel free to use the link either in my About or the Command Discord. That'll get you right in. With no problems. Yeah, so, yeah, that's all from me from today. So, yeah. Thanks again, everyone, you know, for watching, commenting, and lurking. I appreciate it very much. I hope everyone has themselves a great rest of their day, and I'll see you next time.